mystery fans. Each month, the Flamingo Files is going to bring you a podcast talking to local authors who have books out. And I'm your host, USA Today bestselling author Tracy Hall. I write the Scottish Shire Mystery Series, the brand new Cider Falls Mystery Series, and the Irish Castle Mysteries as Ellie Brannigan. My co-host is New York Times bestselling author Lisa Black. She's the author of the Gardner and Renner series. The Flamingo Files is provided by the Florida chapter of Mystery Writers of America.
Now, here in Florida, we find shells, seagulls, and the occasional sunburn on the beach. But in Elaine Viets' new book, one unlucky resident finds a body. Then, do you know your dog's secrets? Are you sure? Neil Plakcy knows. See the show notes for links and full bios of our guest authors. Now, Elaine Viets has written 36 mysteries and 4 best-selling series, and this is the second entry in her new Beach Blonde series. So, Elaine, tell us about it.
Okay, I wanted to write about the Florida beach because I live in Hollywood, Florida. And so I made up the mythical town of Peerless Point, which is sort of like Hollywood, but not really. And Florida is just so wonderfully weird that I had to include things about Florida men and women. Now, we know the downside of Florida man. We've seen the headlines and they do terrible things, but they can also be kind of funny. And it involves alcohol and alligators, sometimes both. And I think my favorite Florida Man series from recently was a man who tried to take his alligator into a convenience store and buy some alcohol, and they said that the alligator is not part of the rate of exchange in Florida.
That's actually very, very funny. So I absolutely loved your story. I thought it was so good. And I thought the Florodora, especially, it just was a fabulous, fabulous place for Nora to be able to inherit. I don't have any family that I can inherit from. I'm kind of bummed. But your cast of residents just really add to the whole flavor. And you really bring like Florida as a character. You do a really good job with that.
Well, the Florodora is actually named after my character's name is Norah McCarthy, and she is the granddaughter of a Florodora girl. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the Florodora was a very popular turn of the century and then a 1920s musical. And the hit song was "Tell Me, Pretty Maiden, Are There Any More at Home Like You?" And her grandmother, Nora's grandmother, was disowned because she went on the stage. There was nothing scandalous about her dress. She wore an Edwardian walking outfit, so she was literally covered from her neck to her toes. But it was scandalous enough that she was on the stage, that she was disinherited. And at age 16, she married a millionaire, back when that was real money. And he died in an accident that included a champagne bottle and a chandelier. And so at 17, she was a very wealthy widow. And she came down to Peerless Point, Florida, and built the Florodora.
It's so cool. Very, very cool.
Very cool. Now, our other author, Neil, is a multi-genre author best known for his dog-centered mysteries, gay fiction, and character-driven romance. So tell us about your new book, Dog of Secrets.
I'm really interested in the plight of young men. So many of us know people who have sons who can't get out of the house, who are locked in the basement playing video games, or who can't find girlfriends, can't find jobs, etc. And so I was really interested in the idea of what would happen if um, uh, his parents were killed and he had to step up. And so um, uh, my hero is a semi-reformed computer hacker. His best friend is the police detective in their small town of Stewart's Crossing, Pennsylvania. And in the very first scene, the police detective shows up to tell the boy that his parents have been killed, this 20-year-old, that his parents have been killed in a car accident, and he won't come out of the house. So Rick, the police detective, calls his friend Steve, who has Rochester, the golden retriever, who has a way with people, as you might know if you know any golden retrievers. And so Steve and Rochester show up, and the boy is then willing to open the door and talk to them because of the dog. And then during the course of the book, they try to figure out, was their parents' death a murder? And if so, who was responsible? Daniel, the boy, has a lot of computer skills because he plays heavy-duty computer games. One that I created is called Disasteroid. And it's an asteroid has hit the Earth, and the people who are left have to scrounge around to survive. And the lessons that Daniel has learned from the game help him in learning what happened to his parents. Of course, with the clues generated by the dog, because he's the star, really.
I have to tell you that Rochester is just an incredible character, and it was my first introduction to the Golden Retriever mystery series. And I enjoyed very much how he just was able to reach Daniel and just provide comfort in a way that you have to. I mean, you have this kid who's so wrapped up in this video game world, and yet the dog was this perfect tool to get in there and reach him. I just was very heartwarming.
Well, thank you. I tell people often that I spend hours every day researching my books, walking my dogs, feeding my dogs, playing with my dogs, so that I can observe them and add those details to the books and use them as a way of uncovering clues. As an example, I noticed that Brody in particular really loves downed branches, loves to sniff them and pee on them. Like, what's up with that? And I did some research, and I discovered that the branches have all of that information, scent information from, in our case here in Florida, lizards, but also squirrels and birds and anything that goes through the trees. So dogs learn through their nose. And so he's always learning and gathering information. And I try to use the things that the dogs do to show clues. They'll find things that are lost. They'll scratch at things. They'll bark at people, that kind of a thing, to show, that Rochester is finding the clues, and then Steve, the human, is interpreting them.
Well, he also had a good skill set. The hacker, the reformed hacker. I liked him too. Steve was cool.
Well, it's really interesting. When I first proposed this series to my agent, 15 years ago, he said, nope, nobody will buy a cozy mystery with a male hero, male protagonist. And sure enough, I looked at, what was being sold, and was a lot harder to do back then. And one of the publishers who specialized in cozies had 32 series. 30 of them with female narrators and 2 with male-female pairs. And I thought that he was wrong, or New York Publishing was wrong. And, here I am 23 books later proving them wrong.
Yes.
I mean, wasn't one of the biggest series the Lillian Jackson Brown's the Cat Who books? And It
And
wasn't,
it,
I mean, the cat's owner was this guy named Quincy, wasn't it?
Jim Quillerin. And
Quilty. Yeah, he was a cute.
actually, the series started out with a much harder edge. He was a reporter in a big city. And so they weren't really cozies. It's only when he moved to the small town that she really got to indulge in all of her puns.
Well, I have a question
But
for Elaine.
Yes.
Where did the idea for the Florida Beach Mysteries come from? And we're all hoping there's going to be more books, of course.
Um, I hope so too. I wanted to write about Florida. I had originally did a series, the Dead End Job series, that was set in South Florida. And then for a while I went back to my hometown of St. Louis, but I missed the quirkiness of Florida. And so I proposed the Florida Beach series. And, the character, the Florodora has it has 6 different residents. So that gives me plenty of opportunity for things to go wrong. And in the current book, one of the residents is an artist, and Florida is the land of scams. And she gets embroiled in a romance scam that is heartbreaking, but it's a very common scam. And it's a it is someone who uses the excuse that he's constantly traveling. And so that allows him to run several scams at once. And it seems very believable, but people have lost up to $1 million in a romance scam.
Oh yeah, obsessed with scams myself. I wrote my last Gardner and Runner book was about scams
Mhm.
too. Yes, they're always an oil executive working on a rig, which tells you something.
Yes.
Or they're a doctor working with military in, the Middle East or something. It's always on the other side of the globe, so you can't talk to them in real time.
They
Oh
would they would love to come home, but suddenly their mother needs an operation
Yeah.
yes, or a child.
or a child.
They're always widowed with a child.
Yes. Could you please send $20,000 immediately to
Well,
help?
in Neil's book, there was also a scam.
Well, and that's the thing, for Florida writers,
Yeah.
we are surrounded by so much crime. And,
Mhm.
there was a car accident at the 7-Eleven yesterday, a mile from my house in the middle of the day with one death and a bunch of injuries.
Oh,
Hmm.
I go to a different 7-Eleven where a 4-year-old child was shot in the middle of the day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the one on Sterling Road.
Yeah.
Um, so we're surrounded by crime, and I think that's something Floridians just, it's just we take it part of our lives.
Hmm.
we have to
Um,
absorb it and then we can regurgitate it in our books. All right,
Yeah.
Neil, real quick question for you,
Hmm.
because now we're at 2 minutes.
Okay.
Somehow I don't even know, but where did you get the idea for your series? And are you going to be able to continue it?
um, I got the idea because I had a golden retriever that I just fell in love with, and he was Samwise, the dog of my heart.
Oh.
And I wanted to write something about him because he had so many quirks and he was fun. And of course, how dogs are, he passed away. And so by writing about him, I get to keep him in my heart. And by having Brody and Griffin, who are English cream golden retrievers, so I can't really use them in any promotions for the book because Rochester is a golden.
Okay.
Um, but I'm continually inspired. I have at least 2 more ideas. Because I am self-published, I can continue to publish these books as long as I want.
That
And
is the benefit. Yeah.
and I know so many authors whose books I love, and I say, why don't you write more? Oh, my publisher decided they weren't selling enough. And, I was very fortunate to jump into the beginning of the Kindle wave. I published In Dog We Trust when there wasn't very much on the Kindle. And so I started building up an audience, and I, continue to build that all the time.
It's really good.
And Elaine, for the writers out there, please share how you successfully managed two separate mysteries. You had Gil's demise and the beach strangler. So do you plot? Are you a plotter or a pantser?
I'm kind of both. I do an outline that's fairly detailed, and then as I start writing, when things don't work, I throw them out, and I try to work around it. So I guess what I am is kind of a flexible pantser. That sounds weird.
Love that. We have a new term coined here. Flexible pants.
Brought to you by Mystery Writers of America, Florida chapter.
I love it.
And this is my Florida cat, Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hello, Vanessa.
All right, Neil,
Mhm.
can you share with us a nugget of wisdom how to continue such a beloved long-running series? For the other authors out there, what can you share?
I think it's having a character who wants something. So, and never quite letting that person get the thing that they want. As we said, Steve is a semi-reformed hacker. He's constantly trying to reform, trying to restrain those impulses. He also suffered from the loss of two children that his now ex-wife, but wife at the time, had miscarried. And the loss of those children is something that carries him through even to this book, where he realizes that Daniel is about the age that one of those children might have been if had they lived. So that gives him that something to always be wanting. And I think that's a good characteristic for a long-running character.
So Elaine, what do you have planned for Dean and Nora?
I hope that they will continue. My next book will involve mermaids.
Yay!
The Wiki Watchy mermaids?
Uh,
Or real mermaids?
well, many people think mermaids are real, so we'll see if they're real in this book or not.
Okay. Cool.
All right, last question that we've got for Neil here. In this story, you bring a lot of the gaming terminology into that book. And so are you also a gamer? And did I understand you right that you actually made up that video game?
I made it up.
Asteroid?
I made it up, but it's not a real playable game.
Well, still.
I worked for 10 years as
Sounded
a
good.
producer. I was a producer for video games for 10 years, primarily for things like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and Fisher Price games and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I play a lot of casual games myself. And so I'm still in that gaming world. And it just seemed like in a game, you have to learn the rules and figure things out. And that's a good parallel for a mystery novel. You have to learn what the rules are that the author has set up and figure out, go along with the detective in figuring out what happened.
Well, it was very clever. I thought it was very, very clever. And so,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
And Elaine, you ended Beach Blonde Betrayal. I have a hard time saying that.
Me
With a
too.
Florida man headline, people are eating his brains, resulting in a golf course chase, which takes the heat off Nora and her crew.
Yes.
And Tracy.
But it actually happened.
We've decided that for the wrap up of the Flamingo Files, each month we are going to have 3 Florida man or woman headlines. And so Elaine, you are not from here, you said?
I'm from St. Louis, but I've lived here about 20 years.
Okay, yeah. That's the same, or practically
Right.
native. Same with Neil. Okay, but so good luck, guys. I'm going to go ahead and read these, and then just kind of listen, and then at the end we'll ask and see who got it. Um, oops, sorry. That's the timer that we've gone. Um, Florida man tries to steal medical helicopter waiting to transport patients after I-75 crash. TikTok challenge lands Florida man in jail for trying to spend the night in Walmart after it closed. Florida man dances naked on back of pickup going 70 miles an hour. All right.
Guess which one is fake?
Which one is fake?
The naked guy?
The helicopter guy.
All right. Well, Elaine is the winner. She knows her.
Oh.
She knows her Florida, her Florida stats. It was the one that was the naked guy. Good job.
And that's funny because there's a website where you can go and put in your birthday and find the Florida Man headline for that day.
Oh my gosh, I saw
And so
that too.
the Florida Man headline for my birthday is Florida Man in a bikini on a bicycle in the middle of I-95, riding down I-95.
Yeah.
Ouch. I
I
can't
know. I
unsee that.
know.
Okay, well, Elaine wins this round.
Yeah, good job.
And as we've noted, I'm afraid we're out of time. For our listeners and viewers, tune in August 15th to hear from Dr. Jan Yeager with a drama about her sister's efforts to deal with her brother's homicide, and Lucy Burdett with her 16th food critic mystery. And we want to thank our guests, of course. This has been so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
And thank you to Florida MWA for hosting us.
Yes.
This was a blast. Thanks, you guys.
And that's not the Mill Workers or something Men's Woodworking of America. There is another MWA.
It's not that one.
Not that one.
Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.